And I know a big part of the Blugold Beginnings mission is to bring the kids onto the UW-Eau Claire campus. So how did that transition go to doing the camps all virtually?
We're doing all the ones we normally do, except now it's just virtual. So I think the coding and the robotics have been a little bit easier just because of the fact that those are more virtual based. The kinesiology camp, we did that one as well. And we still have language, art, and culture one, which we haven't done yet, but they're all still going, except we're just changing the platform where we're doing those activities. So instead of on campus, it's all online.
And then with the summer camps this summer, how are they physically structured virtually? So how are you organizing them and how many students you're working with?
Yeah, so that was a big talk about what we were doing. I mean, we spent a lot of time trying to figure that piece out. Because not only you have to take in consideration of like the campers, of like, giving them the best experience, but you also take in consideration the counselors, if they get sick. So a lot of it is virtual, which makes it easy. If there's a counselor that potentially could have come across someone with COVID-19, we would send them home. They would continue doing the classes online at home. And then you also were able to we did spacing. So we had a larger space of room, and each counselor they'd be spaced out 6 feet apart, have their own tables each, like for a workspace, and then go from there. And it was all virtual, so all through Microsoft Teams, which allowed for chatting, sharing different sources on there, and then also like sharing your screen, so you could actually see what the kids are working on their computers or iPads or any tablets. Yeah, and then I think the number of the kids that we would serve was around 50 every camp, or close to 50 at least. So. And
then I know with the virtual, have you been able to engage with any like outside experts to be able to bring in that you normally wouldn't have been able to bring in?
Yeah, this camp this week is a great example of that. We've been able to work with JAMF in Eau Claire, and so they have some people that were in, I think, also in Twin Cities, people in different parts of Wisconsin, and then we've had other videos of just different. They've sent in videos from other of their colleagues throughout the U.S. that have been just working different projects, talking about what it means to be working in a coding environment, which has been a really great thing for the kids to hear about, because that's real life examples of what coding is, and so that's what the potential job opportunities for them. Sometimes they would be part of the virtual group, so we would have a group chat, and some of the presenters would help out. They would volunteer their time, and they would see what the kids are working on, try and help them out a little bit more, see if there's any problems with their coding, and give them some more advice on like what else to do. And some kids are really advanced, and so some of them just are like, we as college students don't necessarily know all of the resources that the kids could access. They, on the other hand, have gotten a lot of firsthand experience, and so some of them have been even inviting them to do more, but beyond just the camp, like what opportunities are out there for them that we just don't know, because I'm a history guy, so I don't know much about tech. So that was their expertise. They were able to help out the kids in that way.
And then since the kids were working with different robotics and other pieces, how did they receive their materials this year?
So like every week we would we'd package everything up, ship it to the kids. Sometimes we drop it off their houses, or we drop them off at a different location. Kids pick them up, they bring it home, and work on it from there.
And I know with the virtual that you've been able to reach kids in a greater geographic area, that there's kids can do it from throughout Wisconsin, even some, I think I've heard maybe coming in from some other states, even doing it virtually.
Yeah. We've had a couple students that are from the Twin Cities. The hard part obviously was getting the robots and stuff out to them. Sometimes it just meant we just had to meet them halfway, drop the stuff off, they pick it up, and they work on their the robots there.
If you're teaching a group, how many kids are in your individual groups?
So, and I mean, it varied based on age, because we usually group them up based off of their ages. And so I think there's usually around like five or so, maybe 5 up to 10, something like that. But no, we usually wouldn't get more than 5. And each camp was different too, because you usually get a little bit more at one camp, a little bit less than one camp. Then in terms of enrollment, it's definitely been down because of COVID-19. I think that some parents also just really aren't really sure what to do. And they're not, there's so much uncertainty. And I know that was the hard part for some parents, was getting their kids involved, because I talked to a couple of parents, and they were saying that the problem with getting their kids into something like this is that, well, if they have a full-time job, they're not home to tell the kids, go online, access the emails, find, like help them with any problems that arise. I mean, the hard part too is that you have kids now that are going to be unable to participate. So some students that don't have access to reliable internet, they can't participate because if they don't have a computer or internet, then they can't call in. So you're missing a good group of students that really need this kind of service. It's unfortunate for that to happen, but we're still doing what we can.